Hey guys, Michael here from Rainhill Wargamers. It's day 2 of Age of Sigmar 2nd edition. Came out yesterday on the 30th. So we have 3 new books that form the current landscape of the edition. The core rule book, the General's Handbook 2018, and the Malign Sorcery book. This one kind of slipped in under the radar. I heard nothing about it really until I saw it on the GW store, whereas there was lots of stuff saying, oh, core rulebook's changing and this Malign Sorcery book is coming out. So I was a bit, right, okay, well, what do I need to go from playing on Thursday in 1st edition to the next Thursday playing in 2nd edition? Which book do I need to have so that I can make sure that my army's up to date and I'm including everything that's changed and I'll be able to play? So I kind of thought maybe the core book and Malign Sorcery, and then I wasn't sure really what the General's Handbook would have in it, because the last one really had a lot for me, having flesh eater cuts and a lot of death stuff in it. So I thought, right, okay, and I'll pick up all 3 and just to be sure. And having read through them, I'm a little peeved. I'm a little angry. No, I'm not angry. I think all 3 of these books are fantastic, and I think if you get any of them, you won't be disappointed with it. But for me, somebody that wants to just pick up something that means I can then start playing in the next week, the next edition, it was a bit it's a bit miffed having to spend £100 to get all 3. So we'll just put those 2 to one side for now, and we'll start on this book here. And first off, it's a really good book. This isn't embossed, really. It's just in a sort of different feel to it. It's a really good artwork. The female Stormcasts, cool raw book, the definitive guide to the world's greatest fantasy miniature game. I would agree with that, but that is definitely debatable. You know, it's good artwork cover to cover. This isn't a review of the book, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'll put a separate video for that. But all of this is some fantastic pictures, artwork, summaries of different factions. It's really everything you need to know about the different factions and the world and the lore and everything. And then you get to Fire and Thunder, the last third of the book. This is the rules. 2/3 have been about the hobby, the world, the history, the armies. Which, seeing as we haven't really had that in a core rulebook for a while, it's quite good. And if you're interested in the lore and where it's going, that's quite good. And these are the rules. So, Battles in the Mortal Realms, you've got the introduction to the games, the core rules. Now, these are the same core rules that Games Workshop put out as the free PDF online. So you don't need to get this to have read that. It's padded out with a few more pictures and things. That's right. Some battle plans. They give you the one battle plan, First Blood. Touch a bit about war scrolls, battalions, realms of battle stuff, allegiance abilities and how they work, and your artifact limitations, command traits, how that all works now, battle traits, name characters, ability types, and then your allegiance abilities. So you got your order, chaos, destruction, and finally death. Still all standard. I don't think death has changed at all since the Nagash book. And then you get this new realms of battle in the different realms of the magic. So each one of them has its own set of rules and spells that and features even. So this is an effect. So two players pick which realm they want to fight on. If they agree, then you roll a dice and pick. If they don't, you roll off, and the winner gets to pick their choice of realm, and then they get to roll on this chart, and that's what picks the battle trait for the game. So it's like a special rule that affects that world. So you obviously got that for all the realms of magic. Some more artwork, And then the section for endless spells, you only get one page about endless spells, and then the Balewind Vortex endless spell. And then it talks about open play games, which doesn't really change any of the rules. It adds a bit to it about units and friendliness and stuff like that. Some open play games, campaigns, narrative play games. This is quite good. Narrative play games. It gives you some examples of them, some stories, some maps, timeline decision trees, and then siege warfare. This is a new thing. Came about in the General's Handbook. Had some interesting stuff. They've expanded on that a bit now. Darkest Depths is another one they've added. So this is like playing super underground games. Treachery, different things. And then match play games. So we get a page of match play, another play for the pitch battles and how you work out the points and things, and then triumphs and stuff. And that's it. You then get into the pitch battle things. And then after that, you go into the strategies, and that's the end of the book. So that's, for somebody that plays match play games like me, and I wanted to get the new match play rules to make sure nothing had changed, pick this up, for those 2 page, 3, 4 pages in there, and yeah. But let's move on to General's Handbook now. General's Handbook, again, nice material. This is in softback or paperback. It's in a hard sort of card backing. It's quite durable. I do like it. Open play games. It's got some of the rules for open play. It's got more deployment types. These are the open play from the cards. Sudden death traits, army twists, different stuff like that. Narrative games. It comes with some examples of narrative games. Some more open play objectives, and then matched play. So we get 2 pages of match play. Now you'll recognise these 2 pages because we've just looked at them in the other book. And then we get to this bit, and it has the pitch battle things, cards, talking about triumphs and battle plans. So this also has the updated match play rules. It's got new abilities, new battle plans. That's what I say. There's a lot of them. This one here's got some crazy sort of deployment, measurement, metric thing. Pitch battle profiles. So this is good. This is what I need because I need to know how much my army is going to cost me now. It's got them all in here. It even has the endless spell costs in here. And then you get to Conquest Unbound. Now these have rules for the different buildings, different types of magic stuff. I'll do this one-handed. And then you get a section here on the new summoning rules. So the new summoning rules aren't in the core rulebook, they're in the General's Handbook. And they're quite good. They talk about how different armies, and they go through every army that had a summoning change to them. Nothing for death though. So Flesh Eater Courts and Legion of Nagash, their summoning mechanics stay the same. They've not changed. And then you get into new allegiance abilities for those allegiances that haven't had a codex in a while. So Dispossessed, Free Peoples, Wanderers, Fire Slayers, some battalions for the Seraphon. stuff like that. And that's really to the end of this book. So that's that book. And then finally, Malign Sorcery. And this is where a lot of new changes has come into the game. Just a quick run through. There's some magic battle plans, artifacts for your army to take, depending on which realm you've said your army comes from. New spells for your army to learn, depending on which realm you're fighting in. So your army picks which realm they're from, and they get access to the artifacts from it. And then your army picks which realm it's fighting in, and you gain the spells. But that's for you and your opponent to decide based on what was outlined in the core rulebook. So you will need the section on the core rulebook that tells you which realm you're fighting in and gives you the abilities for that realm, like its traits and things. And then this one gives you the magic that's in effect in that realm. You also get a stack of the cards. Now, they're not in the book. The actual rules are all in the cards, which I thought was quite interesting. So yeah, and then it has some different battle plans and things like that. So there we have the 3 books that came out for Age of Sigmar. As a minimum, if you just want to pick something up that means you can start playing match play games, just get this. This will give you the updates for your army if you had one, your points costs, the new match play rules are in here, the new summoning rules are in here, the new magic rules are in here for casting. Core rulebooks online, so you can get the core rulebook online for free, the actual rules, and then this, and that's you can play match play games. If you then want to use any of the other aspects of the game, you still could do that. You only really need this if you're new, or you want to make sure you have a complete view of everything, just in case you ever want to play any of the others, and Malign Sorcery. So the order of importance I would place really on these are General's Handbook, Malign Sorcery if you want to use them, and then the core rulebook. And if you have these 2, you then have a good understanding of what's changed, and the core rulebook online, the PDF. You have a good understanding of what's changed, as well as being able to turn up at your games club this week, next week, before you've read too much of this online, and actually play the core match play stuff that has changed, and get a reasonable feel for every change that will affect your army. Because nothing in this really will affect how I play either of my armies, whereas this and this will have some good impact on me. So that's been a 13-minute video. If you thought this was helpful, let me know. Thank you. Like and comment. Thank you very much.